Wait, it's taking forever. It says stop. Okay, here we are. We're live. Okay, you guys.
This is horrible.
Okay, we're all drunk.
Don't leave, everybody.
Yeah, don't leave.
Probably the most polarizing Kiss song album ever.
Ever.
Maybe.
Oh,
And
no.
they're both great, Unmasked and Dynasty. I love
Okay. Wait! Before we totally disorient everybody and they leave, I'm RT Bear. Welcome to Kiss Corner, and we got to get some structure to this because it's gonna get
because there's none.
Okay, so I'm RT Bear. Kiss Corner. Welcome. 30 years comic book veteran and big time Kiss fan, and so we have Taylor Grosso with us, who is going to try to bring some sanity to this psycho circus, and she also worked with me in the studio. We write comics together, and she's a very talented artist writer. So say hi, Taylor.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. If you have any questions, feel free to write in. I will be your voice.
Yeah, she'll read all the chats and everything. And so, as always, the Kissologist or Kiss, what do you call it, Taylor?
Historian.
Historian is Scott Palacios, dear friend of mine from way back. Plays the drums, and he's a major Kiss fan. So say hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Scott.
Hello. Hi, Kevin.
And our special guest today is Kevin Conrad, and you might know Kevin from just years and years in the comics industry. Has worked for Marvel, mainly on the X books. So it was X-Force with Greg Capullo, X-Force with Tony Daniels. And then you moved over to Image, right, and started working on Spawn books, and then eventually Psycho Circus. But we'll get into more details with that.
Yep.
Kevin Conrad.
Hey, hello, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Oh, yeah. No, you guys are doing a solid, man. I think people are going to get a lot out of this. This is going to be some fun stuff. So, gosh, I guess let the craziness begin, right?
Right.
Can I chime in? Can I chime in on something, Kevin? To Kevin?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Now you're in a band, a tribute band called Revenge. Is that true?
I certainly am. Yes, I am. Yep.
Are you a fan of that era? Is that strictly that era?
No. We every one of us in the band were fans of all eras of the music,
right.
But we wanted to represent the non-makeup, rougher edge of the band. We play all eras of the music. We do focus on everything from the era car on up. We want to represent that music. We feel like there's so many Kiss tribute bands out there, full makeup, full show, and all the 1976 Kiss, and we wanted to explore and just get that other music out there that honestly had more, as far as like radio hits and and that kind of thing. It was there was more of it out there, and frankly, I love the original members. I love that's what got me going. So I've been a fan since '75.
Nice.
But Eric Carr to me was saved the Kiss. Saved Kiss.
He did. He was a kick in the butt, man. He really was.
Yep.
Well, for you guys listening, we have a video of Revenge, and we'll play that later. But we're gonna tease you with it, so we'll get to see Kevin behind the drums. And his
nice
tribute band. We got to ease into this.
Well, Revenge being a great record. I mean, that was definitely a return to. It just seemed like format-wise, in terms of the songs, like it just seemed like a return to Destroyer, almost like a continuation. And people always say, "Oh, it was the return of Bob Ezrin," but people forget that Bob Ezrin produced The Elder too.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is a great record. I mean, again, another polarizing. I know. Totally polarizing record, love or hate. But got some great stuff on it. So much.
I think I know where Kevin's chiming in on
well, it's just one of those love or hates. But I mean, there's some great footage on the Rock the Nation, the DVD, where during sound check they're actually doing, I think, The Oath.
Yeah.
Sound check with The Oath. Yeah, I thought, why can't you do it for a show? I mean, people would go crazy. I would.
I agree. I mean, it's not one of my favorite albums, but I have love for it because it's Eric's debut.
Yeah.
There's a lot of there is some heavy material on that album.
Exactly.
And yeah, we actually do. That's the one.
Oh.
we actually do that in the band. We have not actually played it out live yet, but we will very soon.
Oh, God.
We do want to do the Oath.
Yeah. The Oath would be great. Ironically, I is the one song that he didn't play on, which I didn't know till just a few months ago. It's the drummer's.
I gotta disagree with that. The one he didn't play on was the Oath. That was somebody else.
I thought it was the Chilliwack guy on I.
You know what? I mean, you're the historian, but my knowledge is that Eric did not play on the Oath.
Oh,
Ezra brought in a studio player for that. But
really?
But that's
that wrong. Maybe
wait a minute. Kevin schooled Scott on his own show.
No, I know. No, that might be wrong. I just knew there's something that he didn't play on, and Bob Ezrin just said it was a feel thing. Like he just wanted to feel a certain feel, and it wasn't a problem. He just brought somebody in.
Well, if there's anybody in the chat that knows, this may be the debate of this episode.
It could be a topic for. I mean, stuff like that could be a topic for a whole show.
Yeah, Llama Gigante in the chat says, "Love for the Elder. That's hardcore."
Yeah, okay, I love it. And you know what? And it's not only the songs. I just think sonically, it's a great sounding record. It's produced so it sounds like The Wall. Like it's just produced so.
Yeah, we have to back up a little bit because Scott is a sound engineer and he's really tech based, sound oriented. So some of his love for music also comes just from like the technical aspects.
It sounds good.
Recording.
Right.
Yeah.
And now, Kevin, I got to ask you, it's in terms with that as an extension of what he just said. The first 3 albums, I mean, did you feel ever that maybe the sound of those first 3 albums maybe paled to later records? That maybe they sounded a little thin, or do you disagree with that?
You know what? There's so much controversy over those, and even like Kiss would say that the production was really bad on. Yeah. I liked it. I loved the sound of Hotter Than Hell. I loved that.
Great. That's great. Yeah.
It's got that whole Japanese flair to it. I can't even explain it, but the sound on that album to me is probably the best out of the 3.
The bass and drums on that song, it's still I think it holds up. I like it.
It's so heavy. It is.
Yeah, heavy.
That's fat.
Yeah, I agree.
It's fat.
Drums and
I do agree with that. Yeah, I do. And I actually love the production of Kiss Alive over Alive 2. I can't stand the production on Alive 2. The live portion of that myself. I don't like it.
You guys all have very interesting perspectives, like more so than a standard fan, because I think you guys are all musicians.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, there's multiple angles that we're taking, but I just have to say, Kevin, Alive 2 was my gateway into Kiss. So I agree. I think Alive, the first one is way better, but Alive 2 has a place in my heart. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? It's where you enter the gates. That's the whole thing. And I'm not taking anything away from it. I mean, I love that album too. That gatefold.
Oh my God!
It's insane.
You see that you just. I mean, as a kid, I remember just staring at it for just an eternity.
Yeah. And that was my first concert. My first Kiss concert was a Love Gun tour, and that's that gatefold right there. And that's
mine.
Hey, Kevin. That album did come with like a tour book, right?
It wasn't a tour book. It was an insert.
Yeah.
But it came out though. It wasn't right. So you could. It was like a I guess an abbreviated tour book. It was like an 8x8 or something square, right? 10x10.
Yeah, it was. I want to say it was 12x12. It just fit inside the album.
Right. It was the size. Yeah, of the record itself. Yeah.
It's called The Evolution of Kiss. Yeah, and it showed you every era, like every era of the band, including shots of Paul Stanley pre-Star with the bandit makeup. Yeah,
that's right.
So, there was Yeah, there was some cool stuff in that. Yeah.
Do you guys feel that in kind of this digital age that like collecting music and stuff is sort of dying? Because stuff like that is something that you really miss out on if you're just buying digital music these days.
I agree.
I absolutely agree. You know, and we went to CDs and everything was minute. Like the art did not have like all that art you see on those 12-inch album covers, and it's reduced on the CDs. It just doesn't have the same impact. And now with everything, there's no CDs. You know, there is a resurgence of albums, which I think is really cool. So
yeah, everything's downloadable, so the artwork isn't even part of the bands. And the thing is, like, even because I'm a big UFO fan, and even when you think about it, that band had an art direction, like those album covers,
for sure,
like that.
Yeah,
and the thing is, like, the art direction helped define the band, so they worked hand in hand in the day. And I just feel bad for any bands now because I don't know if they're a visual band. I know there's video, but even like MTV doesn't really exist the way it once did.
No,
so if you're a visual band, I don't even know how. I mean, other than touring and getting out there, but just from an art direction, you know, like one of the things I wanted to do is, you know, I played music, but I also wanted to do like album cover art. Like I studied illustration and things like that. So I'm glad I didn't go down that path because I wouldn't be working right now. But, but you know what I mean? Like it was such an impactful thing, like Kiss, because it was such a visual. There's the music, but then there's also the visual aspect.
Right. That is
right.
And especially for Kiss.
Right. Everybody, Taylor too, I want to know if this is true with you. Did you ever, either of you, purchase a record based on just the visual aesthetic, like the album cover? I mean, I did.
Certainly, yeah.
Which one? I'm curious, Kevin. What did you?
Honestly, that's what got me into Kiss first was the visual. It was the visual. My friend actually turned me. He found Kiss Alive. At I don't know if you had them out there, but it's this department store called Two Guys.
Of course.
And and we're looking at that. We're 14 years old, and yes, it was 1975, and yes, I was 14.
Yeah.
you know, and looking at, they were like, and I was drawing comic books since I can remember, since I opened my eyes practically, and then seeing these real life superheroes, you know, and it was like, holy cow. And that was it. And absolutely then Destroyer was my second album I purchased.
Ken Kelly.
With Ken Kelly.
Right.
Yeah.
Ken Kelly.
Yeah.
Art, what about you? That question.
Oh yeah, I mean, Kiss was probably my gateway. I think my sister bought me Kansas Left Overture, and as far as just a visual album cover, that thing blew my mind. So
pretty cool.
You know, with all the, it's like a alchemist or like an old wizard guy, you know, in some kind of like beat up, like, you know, room, and then he's got all these things floating around him, and like all this like really cool, like I guess magic stuff happening. Yeah, it was really cool. So I think that was, and then Kiss Alive 2 was I think my next album, and I got that for Christmas, and that thing blew my mind when I saw that when I saw that under the Christmas tree with the four faces, and then the Alive 2, you know, across the thing. Just great graphics. Amazing.
Taylor, what about you?
Well, I grew up in the 90s, so I was kind of more CDs.
Yeah.
But I remember back when they had CD stores, I think it was Tower Records or something. I bought that, I don't know if you guys remember, but like that Korn album, Follow the Leader.
Okay.
And,
is that with the swing? With the kids sitting on the swing?
They were like playing hopscotch and it was going off a cliff, I believe.
That was Greg Capullo art.
Yeah,
right
it was
there.
Greg Capullo.
Yeah.
And I didn't know at the time, and that was actually, I think I was pretty young, so I think I was starting to know who comic artists were at that point, but I didn't really know them by name. But I remember seeing that album. I think that was the first Korn album I ever bought, and I was like, oh my gosh, it looks like the Spawn comics. And I didn't know at the time, so that was my introduction to him, and also my introduction to that band, which I ended up really loving for a lot of years.
Wow.
Yeah.
They all had that experience.
I think the band, and they're not even really I mean, they've been around for a while, but as far as visual band, I think Tool is
Oh,
probably
yeah.
the biggest visual band right now with album and artwork, and even Perfect Circle on some level, you know, with the artwork and stuff like that. So I think Tool reminds me of, it's like Kiss Meets UFO or something, because there's that one Tool album where there's that woman's face with the weird slug on it.
And it's intriguing in a weird way.
Yeah, it's something UFO would have done, you know, in the day. They would have done something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Album art's kind of like not really a thing anymore now that I think about it. Because like, I guess maybe bands like Ghost kind of have it, but that's usually just like their logo now.
No, actually, Ghost is they're probably the best representation of a contemporary band that we're talking about. That's a good call.
That's the only one I can think of anyway.
If you have Ghost, you have everything.
Visual musicianship is great. Those records are great. Even live, they sound incredible too.
Yeah, my daughter loves the band, and so I was like, "Hey, Amanda, have you ever heard Blue Oyster Cult?"
Yeah, good one. Speaking of visual, right? Great album covers. There you go. Blue Oyster Cult.
Well, I also think
very similar sound.
Yeah, the sound is real similar.
Right.
Yeah.
Agents of
It's true.
Yeah.
All right.
Ever since you pointed that out, I've like never not compared the two.
Yeah, and hey, Scott, I don't know if I ever asked you this, but which one was it? It was either the first or second Blizzard of Oz album, the Ozzy stuff. That also reminds me of like the production and some of the arrangements, like Ghost, like not this last Ghost album, but the one before that. I forget the name of it, but it seems like it's out of that same vein, like the Blizzard of Oz stuff.
I like those. I know people always, oh God, I wish they would remix, you know, Blizzard of Oz or so. I think it's a great sounding.
What's the one that has the syncopation, like where they had the chorus like oh.
That
was beautiful.
That's Diary of Madman, right?
Yeah.
The second album. That's Ghost, right? That song right there is a Ghost song.
Totally.
Thematically and everything, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like Blue Oyster Cult meets like Blizzard of Oz. Like that's how I would describe it.
On the subject of album art, do you guys have a favorite piece of album art from Kiss?
Ooh, good.
I think I just answered that about 10 minutes ago.
Art, what would yours be?
What was Kevin's Destroyer?
Destroyer, yeah. It's the most iconic.
You know what? This is weird. Like graphically, Hotter Than Hell. I think that's just a cool, like with the circle and the I guess graphic images of all three of them or all four of them. And then, but I don't know. I think it's Love Gun. Does that make me a sexist pig? Like,
well, you know, it's another Ken Kelly. So I'm
Kelly, yeah.
How about you, Scott?
That's a toss-up between those two. Destroyer is just so iconic, and it's just the one that just stands out for me because it was the beginning. You know, we talk about gateway to just that album had just come out, I think, right around the time they were on Paul Lynde, and that was the first time I'd ever seen them was on the Paul Lynde Halloween thing. So that, but I would say Destroyer probably over Love Gun, Yeah, definitely.
Well, Destroyer, like if you were around at that time, that poster was everywhere. Like if you went to Spencer's Gifts,
everywhere.
Any music, you know, a retail outlet, that
everywhere.
Yeah.
Ray Thulu in the chat says it's a tough choice, but I really like Rock and Roll Over.
Great.
That's good. Very good too. Yeah, they had a lot of great covers, man. They're you know.
Oh wait. That's the one I'm thinking of. Rock and Roll Over is the circle with the graphics of all four. That's the one. It's not Hotter Than Hell. Yeah, that's my second favorite.
That's an interesting one. It's very graphic.
And it's been mimicked. Yeah, it's been. I think Metallica actually did T-shirts with that logo with their faces instead of the Kiss.
Well, if you think about even like Guns N' Roses, where they got like the four faces in there,
exactly.
It's not. I think they're in skeleton form, but you know, there's like they try to do the graphic representation of the band members. Yeah,
but you can't.
Now, there is a question from the last video I wanted to ask all of you guys and get your opinion on. But if you guys were talking to people who are new to Kiss, What album would you guys recommend people start with as far as a representation of the band that might make them a fan?
Okay, well, we'll start with Scott.
You know, I almost want to say Rock and Roll Over because it's such a great record. Maybe Destroyer. I'm going to go with Destroyer too.
Okay, Kevin.
The heaviness and yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. Creatures of the Night.
Oh my gosh.
Creatures of the Night.
Kevin went there.
Good.
I did go there. And,
why is that?
So good.
Again, brought that was Eric Carr brought them back to their rock and roll roots. The drum sound on that album, bar none, is the best drum sound I've ever heard on any album ever.
Huge.
And it's just incredible songwriting on that album. The Paul's voice on that album is probably the best I think I've ever heard him. It's just it's heavy. It's heavy. It's not it's not it's not like it alienates any Kiss fans. It brought Kiss fans back. That album did. So that's it for me, man.
What do you think, Art?
I'm totally different, but I'm gonna kind of agree with Kevin just in the sense that I think the songs too were very accessible songs.
Yeah.
To come in on. I mean, they're hard, but they're also accessible. But for me, I think, and I think history will back me up. Right. The Alive album, the first one, because that's also the album that really did break them, because they had the studio stuff, but the studio did not capture that band's energy. That stuff's almost like it's on. This is a dated reference, but like Quaaludes, it's like really, it's really slow. And then live, there's just that energy and
very much in it.
Yeah, and then they re-released Rock and Roll All Night, from that album, and that's what broke those guys. Like if they didn't put that album out and they didn't do that well with that live album,
there would probably be no Kiss.
I don't think there would be a Kiss right now.
I agree with that.
The chat agrees as well. Ray says start with Alive.
Yeah, all those versions of the songs are the best. Okay, I'm going to ask a question real quick. What's your favorite Kiss song? Just one song.
Who wants to start?
Let's go, Taylor.
It has to be Christine 16.
The grossest. Well, that platform is probably the grossest. Oh no,
Look It Up.
There's Lick It Up.
Look It Up, right?
They have some gross songs, yeah.
All right, Kevin, best song, favorite song.
Can we divide them into eras of the band?
Oh my
God!
That would be valid. That actually would be valid because they're night and day. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say original members. Parasite is probably my favorite song.
Ooh.
Then Creatures of the Night. The song Creatures of the Night is one of the most badass songs out there. Eric Singer version. I would have to say Unholy.
Oh,
can you tell where my tastes are?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unholy.
I know it's so great, so heavy.
Okay, Scott. You need more time, Scott? Because I can.
No. I'm gonna break it up too into eras.
The chat's chiming in as well. I'll let you know where they weigh in when you guys are done.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna go for original lineup. I'm definitely gonna go. I always tended to like more of the obscure stuff, but I probably will go with "Do You Love Me," original era, off of Destroyer. Eric Carr era. I Love It Loud, or no, Satan Sinner, maybe Satan Sinner.
Good.
And then Eric Singer era, I'm gonna go with probably Unholy too. It's just such a ball breaker. That song is so heavy. It's just so heavy.
Yeah.
That would be it. Or Modern Day Delilah. I don't know. I think that's a brilliant tune. Too.
That is a good song.
Yeah, off a really good record. I think Sonic Boom's a great record. So,
Art, what's your fave?
I kind of stopped with Kiss after like Platinum. So I'm all like original members.
Boo.
Boo.
So
not a love at all.
Yeah, I think my favorite actually, and I even love the new band lineup when they do this song, is like Black Diamond. I think that, and I know that if you believe all of Paul Stanley's hype, that Peter Criss was problematic in the band, but I think he had one of I wanted to hear more of his lead vocals on a lot of the albums, because I thought he had like a real cool kind of Rod Stewart-y kind of gravelly rock voice, and for a weird, like, he's kind of like this Gene Krupa like drummer, but he's got like this crazy rock voice. You know what I mean? Like he's just this weird like two worlds kind of musician. You know what I mean? Like he's got this old school like bum like jungle drum.
Definitely the jungle drum.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then this killer rock voice, and so Black Diamond, you know, he takes lead on that, and then Black Diamond has all like the kind of Who, like bum 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 bum. You know, then it's like out on the street for a living, and then even when the backing vocals come in, like woo, and I don't know, I just like the way it kind of, because it's Paul that does the intro, right? Vocals.
Yes, it's Paul.
You know, and then he just like hit it, and then it's like, you know, Peter starts singing. I don't know, man. It really does it for me. So I think that's probably one of them. And then I definitely like Detroit Rock City, like just that you know, that. Yeah, it's classic, and it's really good. I think it stands the test. And then later, I don't know, Loud, I like, and then I'm gonna go really commercial. Lick It Up, I think just for the amount of airplay, and I think the reason I like that song is, for some reason, like, either people didn't know what it was about, or they just turned like a blind eye, because that song was played on MTV constantly. Could you imagine, like, you know, you're like some kid and your parents are like, what are you listening to? And it's like, Look It Up. You know?
It's silly. He sticks his tongue out.
Yeah, he sticks his tongue out. No, it's
the tongue and right, the tongue and the boots and it's too much.
The chat says we got a Sticky Wicked says Black Diamond.
Ooh.
Ray Thulo is Parasite, Unholy, War Machine, and Shock Me.
Yeah.
Oh, I almost went Shock Me or Rocket Ride too.
And we also got a Exciter and Not for the Innocent.
Ooh,
play all those in my band. We play them all.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? Speaking of that, we were gonna. I'm gonna play a video of Kevin's band, and let's see if this old boomer can maneuver these things.
Might have to turn up the sound a little bit. Let's see.
Okay, so here goes. Hit that button. And okay. Oh, I'm just gonna. This is Kevin Conrad's Kiss cover band. They're called Revenge, and we have a video. So here we go. Share, and then hit this.
There it is.
We don't hear sound.
There's no sound?
I don't hear sound on my side. I was just curious.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. Maybe the sound won't carry through because we have the mics plugged in.
Here, I'll use. Can you hear it through my mic if I talk?
Let me see. Turn it up.
No. I hear very faint.
Well, trust me, they sound dynamite.
You know what? We can put the link in the description.
Yeah, do that.
If you guys want to hear it.
Look at Kevin's outfit there, the drums with the wig.
Oh, look at the kid. Classic.
That's cool, right?
Classic. Crazy Nights kid.
Yeah, you guys, check out the link in the description, and I'll post it so you guys can go and check that out in all its glory.
Yeah, sorry about the sound. It's really good.
Oh, look at that set list.
Black Diamond.
Yes.
Love Her All I Can. That's what that was another one.
Firehouse. Oh, that's a great song too.
Very cool.
To be honest, the sound thing might be fortuitous.
Oh, would you get in trouble?
Oh, for the copyrights, yeah.
Oh, good one, good one.
Yeah.
Is that the Ibanez, like the Paul Stanley?
That's an Iceman. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it is, absolutely.
Absolutely. Nice.
Yeah. I'll do the singing.
I love it. Kevin, how often do you guys play out?
Once or twice say about 3 or 4 times a quarter. We'll do it that way. We actually just played out about 3-4 weeks ago where we got a gig this Saturday, and then we got back-to-back weekends, November 3rd and November 10th.
Wow.
that we're playing out as well.
Rock City now.
Look at that. That's so cool.
I'll do all the music too.
Thank you.
Man, you guys look great.
Thank you.
Oh, look at that kid.
Oh man, look at Kevin's pounding those suckers.
Look at that.
That you can always tell, like when the hi-hats are swishing, you know that
swishing around, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm no Peter Criss. You know, I've got
No, I'm sorry, your singer sounds great in this song in Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, he's got a great voice.
He does.
Yeah.
I got to get up.
Oh my God.
Get
The
down.
chat is digging it. They think it looks pretty cool.
Cool.
Detroit Rock City. Oh, this is awesome, Kevin. I'm losing my mind. You guys got to come to California, man.
I know. That's what I was going to ask. Are there any plans? Is that something viable that you would be able to?
Oh, we would do anything, man, if the opportunity was there, and and we all could make it work.
Right.
Absolutely would. We'll just get on the Revenge jet and
there you
hop on over there.
Of course.
Hey,
right,
Kevin, do you have a mic on those drums?
You probably don't need one.
Actually, yeah, and those videos they were mic'd. They were that's a really cool club that we have over here too. House sound, the guy is amazing.
Yeah, the drums sound really cool. Really cool.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. Do you have somebody to help you set that thing up?
That's pretty cool.
Come on, we're all drummers. We know how it works when you play out, right?
Yeah.
We're the first ones there and the last ones leave. We make very good friends with the sound guys.
Right.
Yeah.
I did a casual last Saturday, and I was bitching. I played a little 4-piece kit, and I was complaining about that.
Yeah. I have a 5-piece jazz kit that I normally, a sonar kit that I normally would use.
Sonar kit is that okay? You have this big Kiss kit, that's cool,
Yep.
but that little sonar kit is I want that.
You want that?
I envy your kit there.
Oh yeah, the sonar, man. I love it. I do love it. It sounds better than that kit there, but visually it doesn't do what it's supposed to. So.
Look at that thing.
Okay, you guys are Black Diamonding here.
Yeah, that's me. That's me on vocals.
Oh, really? You do the Peter? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the little fire in the background there. That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
We're actually building we're working on a bigger stage show. I'm working on getting a drum riser, for myself, for areas that don't have a drum riser like what you see there. We're going to streamline the show a little bit. I'm printing them out now. As a matter of fact, we're doing the Kiss Army logo on either side of the drums that are going to be hanging on banner stands, and the amps will be behind it. So we don't need to have a wall of amps. It'll just be visually, it'll just look better with our big Revenge logo in the back too. What you don't see there, and I'm surprised nobody's actually asked yet, why is there not 4 members? And And the reason is you all know, you know as well as I do, like when you're in a tribute band, especially a Kiss tribute band, and the area we're in, it's really hard to find people. But here is the thing. I mean, we've been doing this now. We've been playing out for over a year, and I'm going to say here, I'm going to announce it here because it'll probably be announced tomorrow anyway. We're debuting our 4th player next Saturday.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, nice.
Okay, is it going to be Ace Frehley or
Bruce Killick? All right, so this guy can play
Mark
everything from nuts to bolts, man. He's but he is Ace Frehley. So he's the guy is amazing. Ace Frehley. He was in a Kiss tribute band here in the area called Kissery. That was absolutely an incredible band, and he comes to every one of our shows. And he's sitting there and he's rocking out. And it's like, we've been looking for Bruce Killick for a year and a half. This guy is good friends with us. I go kayaking with him. And it's like, Jesus, why didn't we, why not have this guy in the band? He can play everything. He can play anything. And we're debuting him next weekend.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So.
And a lot of people probably don't know that in the beginning, Kiss was a trio before,
Yeah.
You see those pictures of them rehearsing at the Loft, and it was 3 guys. It was just Paul, Gene, and Peter. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's funny because that's kind of like what it's been, man. And now we got
with no solo.
We're following Kiss's footsteps. So another few years.
Now you got the Coventry and the Daisy, and yeah.
Is the new guy going to do the Ace Frehley vocal stuff too?
Yeah, we're gonna drop in 4 Ace Frehley penned tunes. We're gonna right now currently. I mean, things might change, but absolutely, Shock Me.
Save Your Love.
That one was one of my picks. Whether or not we're gonna put that one in there, but we're gonna be definitely doing Shock Me, Rip It Out. Another pick of mine was Rocket Ride. Whether or not we're gonna get to those, I don't know. But we got like 4 tunes that we're gonna do. New York Groove, yeah, we gotta do New York Groove. So Hard Times is another cool one, yeah.
Just a geeky comic book thing.
I love it.
If you guys bought the Thanos War, the Infinity Gauntlet, last Avengers movie, in the deleted stuff, there's a scene with the oh my gosh, what are their names? I'm blanking on the Guardians of the Galaxy, and there's like this whole
Star-Lord and
yeah, because you know how he's got the Zune. Star-Lord's got the Zune. Well, he's like, to get in his groove, he plays New York Groove, and so then what's the big green guy or the gray guy?
Drax,
thank you. He's just enough, and he grabs the Zune. He's like, over and over again, and then Star-Lord's like, hey man, that's my Zune, that's I have to play that song, to get me in the groove. And he's like, but it's over, you just keep playing it over. He goes, you know what? And then he says a bunch of things, this music's horrible. And then Star-Lord says, it's like, you know what, man, I will not stand here and let you malign Ace Frehley. Like, I will not stand here and let you malign Ace Frehley. And then if you look closely in the Zune, you know how the little album cover thing shows up? It's got like Ace's solo album in that. So whoever put that together was a big Kiss fan. It's not in the movie. Yeah, it's not in the movie, but it's in the deleted footage.
That's really cool.
It's absolutely hilarious. I laughed my butt off when I saw that.
Very cool.
Hey, I'm going to throw something in. Art, I don't know if you can chime in if you saw the reunion tour show.
Okay, you kind of glitched out there for a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was this a new throw something into the conversation. I don't know if Art. I don't know if you went to any of the reunion shows, but Kevin, you probably saw a couple of the reunion shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
86.
Yep.
Now
96.
90. Yeah. I'll ask you.
The connection sounds glitching out a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it there?
We can hear you now.
Yeah, every other word was glitching out. Ask Kevin again.
No, I was asking with the reunion shows in 96, 97, the tour. Do you, in your opinion, did it ever get that good again? I mean, do you think it did?
Well, for the band, I would say no. it was great. Like, what was great about that, for those reunion shows was the packed houses that they used to be able to do.
Oh,
and I remember being so proud, like, standing in that, standing room only, packed house and watching the crowd, and it reminded me of 1976.
Well, me too.
They were tight. However, what I did not, I was like, what the hell is Peter on Quaaludes or something? Because everything seems at the tempo of everything was slowed down.
I agree.
But it was tight, and that, but just at a much slower paced tempo. It was great. And then of course everything fell apart again. So from that point, from that point, there were some good, with Eric Singer and Tommy, Tommy Thayer with some of the live shows after that. But hey man, our heroes are getting old. And I'm glad to see that they're finally hanging it up. I'm sad to see that it's gone, that they're hanging it up, but I'm also glad in another respect,
Yeah. And that's something I didn't throw in there too. The reason I brought that up was with the recent announcement of the End of the Road tour and that looming over KISS fans and everything. But yeah, I saw a couple of the shows, the reunion shows, and it was just a magic time to be a KISS fan. And I remember I went to opening night at the Forum, and it's strange enough, first time I saw him was Love Gun Tour at the Forum as well, with Cheap Trick. But so it was just magic for me, and I was in tears. I'm not afraid to say I just never thought it was. I know. I never thought it was something I'd see, like again, like the four of those guys.
Well, the MTV Unplugged stuff when they introduce and Peter, it's like it's a magic moment. It's really cool.
And it was. I never thought it got to that level again. Like it was that I don't know. I guess what I'm asking is, do you think that should have been maybe the pinnacle? Like that should have been it?
I think it should have been. I mean, the farewell tour should have been it. You know what I mean? Like the reunion followed by the farewell tour. That's when things started to fall apart. They were definitely on top, at that time, and it's amazing, even without the original members, how they can still fill these theaters and stadiums and stuff, and I think that's great. But they're just and it'll probably piss off a lot of KISS fans that follow them and will swallow anything that they throw their way. And I'm not that kind of KISS fan. I am a rabid KISS fan, but I'm also a musician, and I also know and I see the degradation of the band. And to Paul's credit, he says, if you want to hear the Paul Stanley that sang on Alive, go listen to Alive, because that's not me anymore, and I get that. But I also think that you can't squeeze blood out of a stone either. And I would have rather seen him gone there, and then maybe at that point it would have been, wow, what if they continued? Then you would have that, what if they just continued after that farewell till we could have had this and we could have had that, and that would be more than seeing what's transpired since.
Well, I have a little bit of a different take on that, and I guess if I had seen them earlier, I might feel the same way, but a couple years back, I was doing a show in Texas, and a dear friend, Philip Steele, had tickets to go see them. And so he brought my daughter and I to see the show, and we were like fifth row. And that's not the KISS of old, but I'll tell you, a guy that had Dynasty tickets in the day and didn't get to see them, earlier in their, in the heyday, I lost my mind, and I'm so glad that they did keep going, because I would have never had a show. I would have never got to see those guys if they didn't keep going after that. So I just think that some, there are people like me that were like hardcore KISS fans when we were kids that may never have had the opportunity, or had the opportunity but just didn't happen, like in my case, to see them in the day. And so, it wasn't, the original four guys and all that other stuff, but it was still a great show. And I have that experience to this day now, because they kept going. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, no, and there's something for everybody, and and again, I have my own opinion about where they and I love the band, and it's probably my least favorite configuration of the band. I love Eric Singer. I loved Eric Singer on Revenge. I loved Eric Singer on Carnival of Souls. I don't love Eric Singer so much now, but you know what? If they came to me and said, Kevin, we're going to pay you X amount of money. You can be in Kiss. You have to wear Peter Criss's makeup and you have to tone down your drumming. I would say, okay.
And that's what he said. He just said, if I don't do it, someone else is standing right behind me.
Right.
That's do it. Yeah.
But also, I think he is bringing something to the set, though. I think who's the guitar player that's doing Tommy. I think those guys are bringing something to the live performances because I think Eric is. I mean, Peter was a showman, but that Eric, man, that guy shreds, man. He's amazing.
He's a great drummer. He is. He's a great drummer. He's not the drummer he was though on Revenge or Carnival of Souls. It's a completely different style playing. He'll deny it, but and he does deny it, but it's very apparent. All you got to do is listen to that, listen to Alive 3, and listen to how he plays the tunes now.
The chat says the Gene Simmons band just did a string of shows in Australia, and Ace joined them. They sounded good.
Ooh,
yes,
they did.
Yeah, Ace was opening
all the stuff.
Yep, Ace was the opening band in Australia, which is really cool.
Okay, go ahead.
I've seen a lot of footage of those Gene shows, and they do sound really good. But he's pulling out all this great material. I mean, the Love theme. I saw footage of them doing the Love theme. Got Love for Sale, which is one of my favorite Love Gun tracks. Kind of a obscure hidden track there. But he's just pulling out all this great stuff. It's like that's the stuff that you rabid fan would want to hear. Is everybody going to know it? No, not everybody. They're not hits.
But I don't think that show is for everybody as well.
No.
Yeah.
Almost. Yeah. Stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, they sound really good. He's got a great band. Brent Fitz, I think, playing drums, and that guy Ryan playing guitar from Hair of the Dog, who I've had interaction with here and there. And yeah, it's a great band.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, it's good stuff. It really is good stuff, and that's what I like. I'm one of the guys too. I love the fact that you had all these members come into this band and then do their own thing. Like Vinnie Vincent, come on, Vinnie Vincent Invasion. That was like. That album, I'll put that album on the first Vinnie Vincent album, and I want to punch somebody in the face. It's and I mean that in the most loving way because it is such a heavy, such a volatile album, man. It's kind of like Pantera, in that respect, where you put that stuff on and you love it, and you just get kind
aggressive. You get aggressive.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the thing is, like Vinny's coming out of the woodwork now too. Yeah. Like, didn't he just do like Eddie Trunk interview, and then I think he's doing the comic book tour circuit as well.
Oh,
yep, yeah, he's signing up for him, and he's also backing out of them.
Is he? Okay, he's flaking.
He did do a few. Yes, he did do a few of them, and then there was a couple that I know of that he backed out. He gets kind of screwy. I don't know, man. You heard what he wanted to do when I don't know if you heard it, but he announced that he applied for a registered trademark or a patent for the name Vinnie Vincent's Kiss. And when I saw that, I was like, this guy just doesn't learn. He just doesn't learn.
Yeah.
And Gene said something about it. He says, I love the guy. He says he's a good guy, but he's gonna have a surprise.
Well,
so I don't know.
I think Paul has to write another book or add a new chapter, the Vinnie Vincent chapter to his book.
Yeah.
The chat is talking about the solo albums. What solo album do you guys think? Like, which member had the best solo album?
Ace really
by far.
Okay. I'm a Paul Stanley guy. I know it wasn't too far from what Kiss was doing, but I just think that album, again, I'm talking from sonically and production, I still think it's one of the best sounding rock records ever recorded.
Well, who did he write with on that?
Well, I'm not sure if he did write with any, but I know probably some of those songs were floating around. I would guess were floating around. Maybe that they just
I'm sure he wrote with other people on that.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah,
probably
it doesn't.
Child,
Desmond Child is what I'm
probably,
thinking. Yeah.
you know, and other.
Yeah.
He wrote maybe even Sean Delaney. I know he wrote stuff with Delaney, but I just think it's just still. I just listened to it not that long ago. It's just such a great sounding record. The material is great, stellar, and I saw him not that long ago on his solo tour when he came through LA. It's already been several years, but he was just brilliant, and it was great.
That was
God.
amazing. That was amazing. That band was amazing.
They weren't they phenomenal? And just to hear that material, like I never got to hear, Goodbye or It's All Right or any of that stuff, and they just pulled it off. Like it just sounded so good.
Yeah,
they were good. So Paul definitely for me, but I also really like. I'm gonna get probably Peter's record. I did. I liked it a lot. I know. But I
don't mean to laugh. I mean, I like it too, but I mean, it's my least favorite out of the bunch. But I mean, I do like it.
I like it.
Paul's was a close second for me.
Well, the only one who had a true hit was Ace with that New York Groove, right? That got airplay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
We did AM radio airplay, and 10Q, the station in LA was all over that, and
it's weird for a rocker guy. He's got like kind of some like disco-y kind of vibes in it.
It's a cover. I think it wasn't written by Alan O'Day, a guy named Alan O'Day.
Oh, it is a cover.
It is a cover. Yeah.
Alan O'Day had a hit with a song called two songs. He had two huge hits. One was Angie Baby. He wrote for Helen Reddy. And then Helen Reddy has ties to Kiss. I don't know if everybody. That's actually Helen Reddy singing backgrounds on Dr. Love.
Gene Simmons used to date her.
Did he really?
No.
He dated everybody.
Nobody believes that.
She's so wholesome. I just thought it would be funny just to throw Gene Simmons in there. Oh yeah.
And then Alan O'Day had a hit with a song called "Undercover Angel" too.
Later. I'd like to forget that.
Yeah, okay. No, but I don't ask me why I know that.
It's a midnight fantasy, is what it is.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Primark has joined us in the chat, and he wants to know what you guys think about the '80s era Kiss after they took their makeup off.
Still good.
I think.
Oh,
go ahead, Kevin.
I think I've already voiced my opinion. Absolutely love it. Creatures and Lick It Up are probably two of my favorite Kiss albums. So, they're great albums. Animalize, great album. Very strong stuff.
Crazy Nights, great.
How about you, Scott?
I like every era. The one that stands out, I love Crazy Nights. I think it's a great record. Revenge is right back to almost like a continuation of Destroyer, and I like non-makeup era Kiss too.
I think they held their own in that time. With the videos, I think they were still young enough that they looked cool without the makeup. The videos were produced really nice, so I think they still had a cool visual aesthetic, and I think it really fit the time. The Wingers and those type of bands. So I think they were contemporary. They seemed like they fit right into what was being done at that time. And also I think if they were conscious of it or not, like I would love to be a fly on the wall sometimes when these things happen, if they just happen or if they're planned, because they took off the makeup, right? So what they did is they kind of did a Get Back like idea, like the Beatles, right? Where they kind of stripped down and then they went bare bones, like this is who we are. So the expectations get lowered, right? So this isn't like the crazy Kiss makeup and all that other stuff. We're just a rock band. This is four of us down and dirty rocking again. And then, they had the reunion tour and they put the makeup back up, on. And so they created a new demand, like they kind of like diminished the, because where else can you go when you're the best band in the land? You're the hugest out there. So then you diminish expectation, which they did, and they did it very successfully as far as I'm concerned with taking the makeup off. I mean, MTV, you talk about just things lining up for you and just taking advantage of what the opportunities were at the time. Right. That's where the genius of it comes in for me is that because they did it all live on MTV where they took the makeup off and they did all that stuff. So they took advantage of the platform that they had at the time. They diminished expectations, but then they gave you something that was equally as cool. And then the nostalgia built, like, you know, I would like to see him back in costume. I'd like to see the original four again. And then they did that, and they lit the world on fire again. Like, how many bands, like, that's why they're around for 40 years. How many bands could say that they've done that? Like, redefine themselves decade after decade like that. It's absolutely crazy. And like I said, I wish I could be a fly on the wall just to see if, like, one of those guys was like, you know what we should do? We should take advantage of this whole MTV thing, take the makeup off, and then we'll play for, you know, a decade without the makeup, and then we'll do a reunion tour with Ace and Thibert. You know, if that was their whole plan.
Take over the world, you know.
Yeah. They had their little. They had their little planning board, like their little war room, Kiss war room, and they had their little pin, the little stick pins. It's like, okay, this is what we're going to do here, this is what we're going to do there, and then we're going to take over the world again. Yeah.
Sketch Therapy wants to know, let me see if I can phrase this correctly. What Kiss music is the hardest rock?
Oh, man.
So I guess there's one out of all of them. Which album, I guess, would be the hardest?
It comes and goes throughout their history, right? I mean, there's some really hard albums, like songs on the albums, and some softer.
No, Kevin, what do you think?
Well, let's see. You're gonna know where my ear is. Again, the hardest stuff to me, and again, Creatures in the Night, Lick It Up, Revenge. Carnival of Souls, which is a much maligned album.
Love it.
It's probably one of the heaviest albums
it's great.
they ever did. It's amazing. There's amazing stuff, and I'm just sorry that it never took off because of the reunion tour. You know, and
exactly.
Yeah, but there's some, you know, and I always got to wonder, that was such a natural progression to Revenge for me, that album, and I always kind of, again, like what if, you know, what could have been if the reunion never happened, where that album would have taken them, you know, and where would, you know, what direction would they have gone, and since, you know, after that. Very heavy stuff.
It is
very heavy stuff.
Stripped down. I mean, we were saying about being stripped down. That's as raw as it got. Like, it just sounds like they just were in a room and just had it out, mic'd up the room, minimal on the drums, and it's still heavy. A song like Hate could have been on Revenge. I mean, that could have been easily on Revenge.
Yep, I agree. That's my opinion. There's some very heavy stuff with the original members. So I think Parasite's probably one of the heaviest songs ever written. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Quite a few people in the chat are talking about the reality show. Did any of you guys watch that?
Oh, the Gene Simmons one?
I believe so, unless
That's
there was
the only
another.
Or are they talking about the proposed reality show? I don't know if it's ever it might happen now.
Oh, maybe.
Looking for a new
member,
new generation of Kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, they're doing that?
Well, there was talk about that. You know,
that's been Art's idea for a long time, and
people
didn't know.
I've talked about that, like, even before they well, just about the time they did the reunion thing. I was like, you know what they should do? They should get 4 new guys, take on, like, they'll kind of, because each one of those characters is iconic unto themselves, but they don't have to be those exact characters. Right. You could have a spaced out, you know, a cosmic character. You could have, like, your horror, you know, demon type character or supernatural character. You could have your love star child character, and you could still have your animal type character, you know. And then what I was thinking is you know, and this is probably what that show is, but I had the idea years and years ago where you just recast the 4 guys, and you do it with, like, the best of the best musicians, and you sign those guys to crazy contracts, and then you create 4 new, you know, characters basically, and then Gene, Ace, and I mean Gene and Paul and Ace and even Peter, if they still want to be behind the scenes guys, because then you have kind of like a Batman Beyond. You have a legacy thing where you have the old guys that are still kind of writing some of the material and managing the younger guys, you know, and then you have the younger guys, you know, becoming the next generation's Kiss. So I always thought, like, I don't know, Scott, if you know Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond is kind of like Bruce Wayne is this old guy. It's like a future Batman story.
Okay.
And so Bruce Wayne's basically kind of retired. And so this young guy stumbles on, and he's very altruistic, and he's got all the earmarks to be a good hero. And he stumbles upon the fact that Bruce Wayne is Batman. And so then he steals his costume, his uniform, his Batman suit, to go fight crime, or to basically find the murderer of his father. And so then inevitably, you know, Bruce Wayne finds out about this, and then mentors the kid to be the next generation's Batman. And so the cool thing about it is there's a legacy aspect where there's the new Batman, but there's also, like, you know, Gotham has a new generation of Jokers and a new generation of all the rogues galleries. So then basically you're redesigning for a new generation, you know, this legacy thing that's built in. And if Kiss could have done that earlier, I think now it might, well, they might still be able to do it, but if they did that, then they can actually secure the next 40 years of Kiss. You know what I mean? Like, because if this is built in as a legacy thing, like that they hand down the mantle to a new group of guys, then that new group can hand down the mantle to another 4, and then another 4. So you could actually keep, as long as there's an audience,
right,
keep this kind of thing going well beyond Gene and Paul's, you know, even lifetime. Is that
I think it'd be awesome.
I think that sounds all great, but if something like that was going to happen, then they would have, in that respect, with new characters, they would have let Eric Singer and Tommy Thayer come up with their own characters.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I think they didn't do that is because you go the sure cash cow versus the other. You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty sure bet. And that was coming right after the reunion tour. So they knew that there was a demand for those two characters. So they plugged those guys in. But I'm saying, like, this, I mean, at this point, they're talking about retiring. So they have nothing to lose. Like, if they were to, you know, bring in a legacy idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I can tell Kevin doesn't like the idea. You like the idea of those four guys, right?
No. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I would have much rather had. That's one of the things I have an issue with the band now is the two of them wearing the other makeup. You know.
Yeah, but let me ask you this question though. Do you have a problem because they are exactly trying to be those two guys? Or if those guys, like Vinnie Vincent wasn't Ace Frehley, he didn't dress up like Ace Frehley, and Eric, Carr, didn't dress up.
Shame on you.
Like, I'm sorry, there's so much to keep track of here. I'm doing my best. Like Eric Carr, you know, like he dressed up like, what was it, a fox? You know?
Yeah, it was Fox. Yeah.
So you have that aspect. So you accepted that part, though, right?
I absolutely did. I loved it. That's my point. That's my point. And is that that was great. I love Vinny's character. With the Ankh Warrior. I thought that was amazing. The costume, everything was great. Eric Carr as a fox had that makeup developed over a course of a year or something like that. It's primarily the same from the first showing of it, but the hawk, yeah, exactly.
Right.
All I can say is thank God that didn't happen.
I'm sure you've seen those pictures. Thank God. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So then you're saying it could work if they were different, totally different.
I say, yes. I say it could work, and I say it should. Like, especially when you got the original two of the original members in the band, they should have given Eric and Tommy their own identity instead of imitating somebody else. That's my point. Is Paul's going to be, Paul is the guy that's running the ship here, and he will never allow another character besides those four. They own the rights to those characters. They've done them well. They've served them well over the course of the years. And if there is a Kiss version 2, those are the characters you're going to see because that's what Paul's going to want. Do I agree with that? Maybe I do agree with it if they were all different members. I certainly didn't agree with it in the way that and the incarnation it is now.
Yeah,
Should have been different characters.
My idea is that they would be completely different characters because, you know, like Batman Beyond, that guy is not Batman. You know, the physique, there's nothing that you could even relate it to the original Batman other than they call him Batman. So, yeah, they would just be the iconic, because the thing is there's 4 iconic ideas at play with the band. So you could plug different characters into those and still have them serve the same dynamic. You know, but yeah, I agree with you. I don't think that they should be those 4 guys because I think then that would be cheesy because then it would be like you're trying to like pull the wool over, you know, people's eyes. Like, oh well, we're going to go on forever as these 4 guys. No, I don't think you should do that.
The chat says, I like the idea of Kiss continuing with new guys as long as they have unique makeup. I don't like Tommy and Eric using Ace and Peter's makeup.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah, I'm a little drawn there too. But like I said, if they didn't, I wouldn't have had that Kiss experience to have right now. That's the only thing I hold on to. I think if I would have seen them earlier, like you guys did, maybe I would feel more strong about it.
So I got to ask you, Art. So the first time you ever saw them live was just a few years ago?
Yeah, but let me back.
Wow.
Yeah, let me
okay.
back.
All right. Well, then I get where you're coming from then.
Okay, because like the thing is, there was probably a 5-year period where I ate, slept, and drank Kiss, like everything. And we live in California, so I had a chance. Well, I had a chance to go to that Kiss Meets the Phantom because it was a local amusement park here in California. So I had a chance to go to that. That didn't happen, and then I had tickets to go see the Dynasty tour at the Forum, and my parents' car broke down, so I never made the destination. So in the day, I tried so hard, you know what I mean, to see the band. But with you know, you're a kid, like you know, your resources are like, Dad, can I borrow the car on this day? And like, I need $18 to buy a ticket to a show. You know, like there's a lot. Like when you're a kid, that stuff's hard to deliver. And so the fates just didn't. Yeah, it just didn't align. And then a couple years ago, like I said, I got to see him in Texas. And it was mind-blowing. It was like a religious experience. Yeah. And also the thing is I got to experience it through my young daughter's eyes. So it blew her mind. You know what I mean? So it was like, it was the best Kiss experience. And I'm, like I said, I'm thankful that they kind of kept it going. Otherwise, I just wouldn't have that experience at all.
That makes sense.
Right. Good perspective.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know what? We should start thinking about wrapping it up. And you know what? I hope everybody had a good time. We didn't even get into Kevin's Psycho Circus.
I know. I was going to say that.
I'm hurt.
Well,
that means you have to come back.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would love to. If you have me back, I'll absolutely come back. Yeah.
Well, Kevin, I've been showing your covers to everybody.
Look at that.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, we'll do a little brief showing off Kevin's work. Yeah, this is Kevin's artwork along with Angel Medina. And the interiors are equally as cool, but these are the covers. These are 4 different covers that connected. So it's 10, 11,
Beautiful.
12, and 13. Cool. I'll pull it back so you guys can see all of them, but it's kind of small. Yeah.
I don't think I ever worked as hard as I did when I worked over Angel.
There's lines everywhere. The detail is crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
And when you guys look at the hair, you go, "Oh, it's just black." No, there's strands of hair.
Hey, look
everywhere.
At that Gene one; it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, you guys killed it on that book.
So, and before I know, not to change the subject, but before we do go, I mean, I gotta say to you two that art is one of the reasons why I was probably able to get to the level to do that book because. Art didn't know me from Adam, and Art probably does. And we've already talked about this, but I'm saying it in a forum now because everybody needs to know that that guy, because he was friends with Greg and I was friends with Greg and I was breaking into the business. Art would sit for hours with me on the phone critiquing my inks when I first broke into the business, and I learned so much from that man, and he's one of the reasons why I made it to that level. And Art, I got to, again, just from the bottom of my heart, man, thank you for that.
Oh my gosh, it was my pleasure. And like I said, I mean, you already had the talent. Anything I brought, I think you would eventually have gotten there anyway. But thank you so much. I mean, one of the things, especially being the age I am now, I'm just trying to give back as much as I can, because this community, the comic book community, has given me so much. I'm so blessed. And if I can give back at all to people, that's where I'm at right now. And that's why I do the portfolio review. I try to do at least once a week, to just kind of critique people's work and give them a little bit of insight and try to get them into the right direction. I know sometimes, like, we do clickbaity titles, like I'm going to break your will and things like that. But we just do that so it's clickbait. Like, YouTube is filled with clickbait. So we use like really intimidating titles, but it's always done with love. It's always done, to get everybody to a better.
Art is very constructive, you guys. He's not just going to tear you down for a show.
Yeah, so don't be scared by the title, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But Kevin's one of the great guys. I always say, like, there's good guys, like, since it's, most of the stuff we do is good versus evil, but there's really good guys, like good guys in this industry. Okay. And Kevin is one of them, and he's semi-retired right now, but we're going to put all your social media stuff up too, Kevin. Kevin still does comic conventions, and he does commissions, and he sells his prints and things like that. And you haven't lost a step, man. It's still brilliant.
Thank you.
Still brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, Kevin, how do you feel about people, like, about your hand situation? I mean, would you be comfortable in talking about that?
Yeah. No, I've got a couple things going on in my hands that was part of one of the reasons why I actually did semi-retire. I have arthritis, osteoarthritis in my hands. They make great reference for like Bernie Wrightson-esque type drawings that I gotta do. Yeah, exactly. I also have something called Dupuytren's contracture in my right hand, which is the hand that I work with, where there's cords that grow within the palm and the insides of the fingers that draw your fingers in. You can't open your hand. I can't open my right hand. It's about my pinky and my finger next to it are about a 90-degree angle from my palm. So, and I'm contemplating getting the surgery done where it's literally like a zigzag from the base of your palm right up the fingers, and they cut the cords out. And it's a 8-week recovery from that, which I'm thinking, like, with the band, I still can play the drums, I can still draw and ink. On the level that I did when I was in the business, doing it 16 hours a day, probably, that's one of the reasons why I got out, was because of that. But I'm not all that far from retirement age where, what I really want to do is do my own project, and that will be the time where I'm going to invest in doing that. In comics, I mean.
Yeah, that's
excellent.
That's kind of what I'm doing now as well.
Yeah, so that's something I'm looking forward to. But yeah, my hands it's more of a nuisance than anything. They don't hurt per se. They don't ache. Holding that damn nib in my hand all that time. Yeah, and I think that had more maybe to do with carpal. I couldn't. I'd literally have to shake my hand out every 10 minutes when I was inking.
Wow.
Well, the main reason I brought it up, Kevin, is just as a way of inspiring. So if there's anybody out there, don't let these things slow you down. I mean, Kevin does not slow down. Like, he's still active in the convention circuit. He still does a ton of commissions and still inks, and plays the drums. So don't ever let these things, like, slow you down.
And look at his work. It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.
Yeah. So if anybody can get some inspiration out of that, they should.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And it keeps me going. It really does. I mean, if I sat idle, and not did, just like anything physical, you got to keep moving, to keep limber. So
yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
yeah. And when he says his hands messed up, you guys, his hands really messed up. The stuff you do just boggles my mind. I'm like, holy crap, how is he doing this stuff? Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that like an inspirational way. Like I take inspiration from that. I think like, like I don't know if you guys, I'm weird because I always think like, I look at people and, like when I'm bitching, like right now I have a pretty bad cold and I just think, oh, I feel so bad. And then I think, oh man, there's people that have arthritis. There's people that are blind. There's like people out there that really have major problems that they don't complain about those things. They just do things every day. And so like, who am I to complain about some stupid thing like that, So I try to keep things in perspective just to make, to inspire myself and to keep myself from bitching and whining when things get a little hard,
Yeah. Well, again, I appreciate the sentiment, man, but it is what it is. Like, everywhere I go, like, because what I do now for a living, is I train cable techs. That's what I do. I work for Spectrum Cable, and it's a good job. Benefits are great. I've got a 401k, I've got a pension, I've got, just 4 weeks vacation, 520 hours of sick time.
Nice.
All that kind of stuff. But I stand in front of these classes and I present the classes, and you get these young kids and they're 20 years old, and one of them will raise their hand and they'll go, how kids can, they're young guys, really. And they go, dude, what's up in your hands? So it is what it is. It is what it is. I can't hide it. It's there. And like I said, they're great. They're great source of material for some gnarly looking hands for some monsters.
For the Bernie Wrights and the Bernie
Yeah,
Wrights.
exactly. Yeah.
No, well, you're not letting it slow you down, and you're an inspiration. So, gosh, man, I hope the people in chat have enjoyed this. I would really like to continue.
People are requesting more episodes, so
doing these shows, and
good. Yeah.
I think Scott. I know that the if you want to know more about Scott, tune in to the previous. We introduced Scott, and Scott is really a historian. He knows. Not only does he know like the things most people know, he knows production things. He knows like on this album, Peter didn't play the drums on it. This other guy did, and all kinds of stuff like that. So I think this has a lot of potential. And Kevin, if you wanted to, come back, we would love to have you.
Great.
Yeah, I'd love to come back. I'd love to match wits with Scott and all that stuff too. So
yeah.
Yeah, I'll just turn it over to you guys, and you guys can talk about.
People would like to have they would say do an episode about the figures toy company Kiss Toys.
Well, there was the Todd Toys, right? And
that's right. I remember
Before
those.
that, though, there were the toy, the figures, the big figures too.
Oh,
those were
8-inch figures or something, right?
No, there was like 18-inch figures. 18-inch figures.
They were 8. Put those out?
I don't think it was Miko. Was it Screamin' Products, maybe? I don't remember. I don't remember who they were, but they were big.
They had hair, actual hair.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Okay, Kevin. So they were bigger than G.I. Joe size?
Yeah, they were about 18 inches tall.
Oh my gosh!
They were sold in Spencer's, and I want to say it was Screamin' Products, but I could be wrong. That built those things, but they were highly articulated, highly detailed, cloth costumes.
Kevin's looking at him right now on his shelf.
Yeah.
He's acting like he doesn't know, but
no, I don't own them. I don't own them because they were too expensive at the time when they were up.
Yeah,
they were incredibly expensive.
They were.
I do have all the Todd toys though. I didn't pay for those either though. Those came gratis from Todd.
Those things were really cool.
They were very cool.
I bought a couple of those.
Here it is. Kiss 1978 Mego action figures. Yeah.
There he goes. Okay.
Wait. But what was the size though?
Oh, what are the dimensions?
Megos were like 8 or 6 or 8-inch figures, right?
They were.
Yeah, but maybe it's two different companies. Maybe there were two different action figures. Or
them the picture, absolutely.
Arik says they do both 8-inch and larger Mego styles. They are currently available from Figures Toy Company.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. We have some real big Kiss fans out there.
Well, exactly.
Well, thank you. Thanks for the input. Yeah. So let's wrap it up. Do you guys have any social media or anything that you want to plug?
Yeah.
All right, Kevin.
My Facebook art site, Kevin Conrad Art, and my tribute site, my Kiss tribute site, is called Revenge/Kiss Tribute, and you'll be able to see a bunch of, we don't have the new guy on there yet. We're going to make some changes to the site, but yeah, those two, yeah, Kevin Conrad Art. I do commissions. Like I said, I get a lot of commissions through there. I sell prints right on there as well. Go to the photo albums and prints for sale. You'll see prints there as well. Well,
you mentioned earlier off air that you have a couple upcoming conventions too, right?
Oh, yeah. Albany Comic Con here on October 21st. Actually, that's the only one right now I got lined. I just did one in Syracuse. The Albany Con, we got some good guests this year. Mark Texera is going to be there. The whole troop from Ominous Press and oh god, names are slipping my mind right now. But
Vinnie Vincent will not be there.
No. Oh, Tom Rainey. Tom Rainey's going to be.
I love his work. Yeah.
Yes, and what is his name? Big. He was huge. Oh, Bart Sears. Bart Sears will be there too.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we're trying to get Andy Smith on this show. He's he's a Bart Sears guy.
Oh, that's cool. You got to get too is Norm.
Oh, he's a big Kiss guy. Yeah.
Oh, he's a huge Kiss fan.
So if Norm's listening, we'll get Norm and Kevin on, and then Scott and I can just wait. Let me say this right. Taylor, Scott, and I will just sit back and have a Mai Tai while you guys are just talking Kiss.
We get out on Kiss, yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so so you have those two. You said 2 shows, right, coming up?
No, just the one, just the one. Plus we got 3 gigs with the band. One this coming Saturday, Kings Inn in Schenectady. Then we're doing Chrome in Waterford in New York on November 3rd, and Spare Time in Clifton Park on the 10th.
And if there's anybody that promotes or gets people to play their clubs, get Revenge to come out on the West Coast here, so Scott and I can see them.
Please.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be so. You know what, Kevin? Have you thought about doing these shows at conventions?
Yeah.
I have tried. That would be so perfect. Like the multi-day conventions, and do it on a night like a Friday night or a Saturday night, not during the show, but like an after party kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, because you remember, like, there was Billy Moomies. He's an actor, and that, what was it? Miguel Ferrer's son. Jose. Yeah, those guys had a band, and they would play after the San Diego Comic-Con, like on Saturday or Friday nights. And then even didn't Joe Quesada and Jimmy Palmiotti have a band? And they did too.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So I would love to fit right in.
It would fit right in. I can wear my Eric Carr get up when I'm sitting at my table drawing pictures too. So.
No, because the thing is, like, I think this fits so well because I never, like, when you're a kid and you're growing up, you're like, oh, why do I like Kiss? And then you get some hindsight and you're like, they're just comic book characters that play music. You know what I mean? So I think there's quite a cool crossover audience with comic books and Kiss specifically. Like, there's other bands, like, Taylor mentioned Korn, and even like Disturbed has like some Dave Finch covers and things like that. So there is some crossover with other bands, but Kiss specifically, those guys are like a living comic book.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I think that would be a blast if we can get, if there's any comic book con promoters. Gosh, it would be so awesome. So we could do panel discussions, the 3 of us, or the 4 of us. We'll have Taylor moderate.
I'll be the moderator.
We'll have Taylor moderate. And then later Revenge can play. And then we could do, just a Q&A, like Stump Scott.
Yeah.
If anybody can stump Scott, And then, of course, I'll be in the trenches in Artist Alley along with Kevin, and we'll be drawing. Well, Taylor too. Taylor draws. Yeah, we'll have all of us.
Awesome. Yeah.
We could entertain. We could be a show unto ourselves.
Let's start a new Kiss Con.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, Scott. So do you have anything to
I
plug?
don't. My only social media is just my YouTube, which is just SMP Media. I post stuff on there, just from recording something, and my Facebook, just again SMP Media on Facebook. It's just studios. If I'm tracking something or my setup, I'm not on there as much as I should be, but I'm gonna be more active in putting stuff up there and maybe some projects and things like that. But that's pretty much
very cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Scott, you have some of the music that you've written and stuff up there too, so people can sample
little pieces. Yeah. I try to put little snippets of just loops and maybe playing along with loops or something.
Scott is just to back up real quick. Is Scott produces? He's a sound engineer. You're also audio visual as well.
That's what
right?
I do. Yeah, for a living. Yeah.
And so he's a drummer, but he also writes songs.
Yeah.
So I remember when you were young, you would be banging songs out on pianos.
Yeah, right. Playing piano as long as I've been playing drums. Yeah, and then yeah.
Yeah, so Scott is also a composer and writes music and stuff like that. So check out his what site is that? Is that your Facebook site?
It's just on my Facebook. I have another Facebook, SMP Media on Facebook. Yeah, and that's just music stuff, just like studio pictures of them, working on something or
Yeah, and if we get Scott enough of a following, then I'm sure Scott will probably start posting more stuff up.
Yeah.
Send me those links, you guys, and I'll definitely add them to the description so everybody can have ease of access.
Okay.
I'll definitely do that. Thank you.
And Taylor, do you have any parting shots?
Yeah, hopefully maybe we can do another one of these shows next week if you guys are all down. It will give me some time to read up all those Psycho Circus comics.
Wow.
I've been meaning to buy those. So if you guys check out the links in the description, you'll see all the links to Art's social media. And you will also see the link to our current Indiegogo, which is for Black and White Remastered. And we're trying to get to our next stretch goal, which is for the mini print. So go ahead and check that out. I think what is their Art, like 18, 17 days left?
I think we have left, because I think yesterday we were saying like 17, 18. I think it's more like 15 days left. Yeah, so we're
about halfway through that campaign, you guys. So you still have around 15 days to reserve yourself a copy of Black and White. So please do that.
Yeah, time is running out, though, so don't delay.
Yeah, definitely don't wait on that. And if you are enjoying this content, please leave a like on the video. It'll help get more eyes on this. And like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications on the channel for more art-related things, comics, and, of course, Kiss Corner.
Yeah, and if you guys know any Kiss fans out there, definitely hit them to this, because there's two programs up now, and if we can get enough, of a fan base, I'm sure Scott and Kevin won't mind coming back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you
for sure. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
no. Thank you, guys. I mean, this was amazing. I had a blast. I hope everybody listening had just as much fun as we did, and we'll see you soon. So everybody, enjoy your Saturday, and get out there and check out Black and White Indiegogo.
Nice meeting you, Kevin.
You too, Scott. And you too, Taylor. And hope to see you next week.
Of course.
Right,
thanks, guys.
Bye, Taylor.
Okay.
Bye.
See ya.
All right.